Katie Petite from KatiePetiteDesigns.com. I am here today because my new era, as I've been calling it, is here. And I'm excited to share with you my newest release. And this is with my new manufacturer, Arden Creative Studio. They're based out of the UK and we have worldwide distribution. And I'm excited to get started with this next chapter. And it begins with Hidden Creek. This is my first collection and it's packed. It's got, whoops, I'm like dropping things. It's got 12 by 12 papers. It's got stamps, see, stamps. And it's got stencils and it's got dies. And we have ephemera and decoupage paper, Rubons, laser cuts, so much to show you. So join me now and I'm going to walk you through the full collection. All right, so here we go, Hidden Creek. Now the paper pads with Arden are a little bit different than what you might have been used to from me before. We have actual paper pads. So the designs aren't available individually, but rather as a whole paper pad. And there are 12 different sheets, each two-sided, and you get 2 of each in the pack. So let's go through them and see what you've got. All right. So we have our first sheet, and you know what? I'm going to just tear out each sheet so you can see the front and the back. So they're on the paper pad here, and as you can see, they easily tear out. So this first design is the lush teal with lots of depth as usual, botanicals and butterflies and some text bits. And on the back side of this is a watery, like so-called solid. So you could use it as a solid, but you can also use it as a textured background. All right, and so then you get a second sheet. And then we have this Quatrefoil pattern, tearing it out again with the golds and the greens and the teals and lots of vintage ephemera mixed in. And on the back is a golden watercolor background. Lightly textured, some bits of writing, splashes, all the usual things. You can see kind of a canvas texture in this as well. And our second sheet. And then I have this like Fern Valley sort of paper. So all kinds of ferns across the bottom. I can imagine even fussy cutting some of these and tucking your photos underneath them. And there's dragonflies and butterflies, lots of depth to this design. And on the back side is a green watercolor wash, very textured. Not so much in the text and writing department, but just very canvas textured. And again, your second sheet. And then we have a blue botanical. And I added the paint swatches to kind of help you think about how you might use this paper as a 12 by 12 layout. So you've got 4 swatches. Maybe you're going to stagger 4 photos, or you can use it for lots of other things too. And these cut down really nicely for card fronts as well. And on the back side of this is a taped together vintage ephemera paper. Gives you some nice contrast to the other designs, but again with the ferns and the botanicals mixed in here. And here is your second copy. And then I've added in a lovely all over pattern in the blues and greens of the collection with some vintage text mixed in and some splashes. Just gives a nice contrast to the botanicals and the vintage papers. And on the back side of this is another vintage ephemera that I kind of worked into a distressed concrete sort of look. So it's like a distressed garden. Really fun, gives nice contrast to the other papers. You know, like if you had those two together, really sharp, nice contrast. It's always good to have contrast in your layouts, pages, and projects to give them more visual interest. And here is your second paper. And then more of a ditzy kind of floral. Again, I'm going to just pull it out of the pad. You can see lots of little text bits again, helping to connect the vibe of the whole thing together with the vintage text and some watercolor washes. And on the back of this one is more of a solid. It's kind of a ledger in a green. And your second copy of that sheet. And then this is more of a painted background. So it's kind of giving you a foundation to start your projects. A really good place here. Maybe you're going to stack 3 horizontal photos. Maybe you're going to have 1 large photo here. Lots of different ways you can play this page, and you can cut different parts as well. And on the back side is an all over print, the butterflies, with lots of depth in here. You can see a hint of a butterfly pattern in the background, and some text and some handwriting. And again, your second copy of that design. And now we have another butterfly print, but this one, in comparison here, you can see it's a much smaller print, an all over print on a lighter color background with some distressing and text and writing in the background of this one as well. And on the back side of this is more of a tan watercolor wash as a solid or so-called solid to use as your foundation. And we've got your second sheet. And now another like Fern Valley sort of paper. Really nice colors, lots of greens. I think this collection lends itself to any sort of outdoor photos and indoor as well, but the green, of course, will complement your environment. And I've added in my taped together stitched frames in the background to kind of give you an anchor for your pages. And you can use them to help you design your page, or you can just use them as background texture. And on the back side of this is a lovely plaid. So you can see this collection combines a lot of nice all over botanical patterns with some classic contrasting patterns as well. And I think that makes it a very easy to work with collection. And here we have a multicolored plaid, again with some vintage text bits blended in to help it all tie together, and the blues and the greens. And on the back side here is a golden polka dot with a very light amount of distressing and texture. And we have our second sheet. And then we have a cut apart sheet, and you get 2 of these as well, which is super versatile. So I'm starting to tip over here with my backside. All right, so on the cut apart sheet, I have created 8 3x4 cards and 2 4x6 cards, a few with quotes, a few blank, so you can add your own things into them. And on the back side is a classic stripe with some watery sort of splashes. And again, you have your second sheet. And then this one, I really love this one. This one has a lovely contrasting background. It's kind of like a concrete brick with the butterflies and the engravings and text over it. I love the gray, all about gray, and with the vibrant colors, it really is subtle yet bright. And I like that mix a lot, and I hope you do too. And on the back side of this one is a classic brown polka dot. Lightly distressed, ties everything together, and a nice contrast for you. And your second sheet. And that, my friends, completes the paper pad. Now, so this is the 12 by 12 paper pad. And like I said, you get 2 of each of these sheets. We'll turn this one around. And we also have an 8 by 8 paper pad. It's exactly the same, just smaller format. So a smaller 8 by 8 paper makes it good for mini albums and all kinds of smaller projects that you might like to be doing. And this again has 12 different designs, and you again get 2 of each. All right, so that, my friends, is the paper for Hidden Creek. All right, so let's talk about the other element packs that you can get for the Hidden Creek collection with Arden. It's a different variety, but a variety that I'm really excited about, and I hope that you will be too. So I'm gonna just pick up a few things here and there and show you around the collection. First, we have enamel dots. So done in the color of the collection, a little pack of 6 different colors and lots of different dot sizes. All right, then we have the ephemera. So I am gonna open this one and kind of go through it for you. So the ephemera pack is like all other ephemera packs I've ever designed, because I think, you know, as a designer, I guess I have a way of working, a way of doing things, and that's what this is. And this pack contains 112 different die cut pieces. You can see them all in the back here, because I'm sure we won't see them all as I open and go through some of it with you. But it is a really good mix that I think works well together, whether you are a card maker, a scrapbooker, journaler, all the different things. Have had a lot of questions about the paper weight. So this is, you can kind of hear it. It's a heavier paperweight, but maybe not quite as heavy as you had been used to in my previous collections. But it's good, and I'm really happy with it. It's not flimsy. It holds together well as I want to come in here and cluster things up. Nothing is too flimsy. And everything works together really well. You know, in my usual style, I like to layer sentiments and have a mix of sayings and colors and textures. As I'm just kind of winging it here and pulling these together, you can just see the variety that you're going to have to work with. There's leaves and tapes and bugs and butterflies, and there's even some larger page titles here. There's a frame in here added. Well, actually there's a couple of frames, because going to have like this round frame. You just punch out the ephemera label in the center here. Punch this guy out. And then we have this round frame with some vintage ephemera in the background of it. And then I also put in this vintage frame here. So you can just punch out the frame And you have that to work with. And you have the little labels and such too. So lots of different things here. I have some typed word strips, lots of little bugs, some larger pieces. It'd be really nice on your scrapbook pages. And so we have different ephemera pieces. Like with this piece, you can just pop out that label and have your little heart pop out too. And look at that. And then you have like a mask that you could do, like use as a stencil. Different ephemera and botanicals, the page titles, and more botanicals and butterflies, some tickets with butterflies, another one here, and another page title, book plates, all good things. And there's tags and there's page pebbles and this little badger guy and book plates. So many fun things. 112 different pieces of ephemera to help you pull together all of your projects in style. I think you will be really happy with this pack. Let's talk laser cuts. Okay, so I do have a set of laser cuts in this collection. They are 6x8 sheets, and there are 78 pieces in here. But they're special. They're a little different than what I've done in the past. So you've got your 2 sheets. Again, it is a little thinner than what you were used to in the past, but it's good. It's still sturdy. It's still really good. And I really like the bright white that it's printed on. I think you get really lovely colors when you work with a nice bright white. Okay, so I'm going to tear this apart here so you can see. You have your 6x8 sheet. And I'm going to, let's see, what's a good example? I'm going to punch out. I'm just going to kind of push down and be able to punch out this leaf to show you the difference and what is going to make you fall in love with my new laser cuts. Okay, carefully here. Don't want to do a big boo-boo. You know you have to be really careful with laser cuts or you can tear them. So there's little tabs that hold them into position so they don't fall out of the paper. And you need to carefully push those apart to release. And normally I would do it a little different. I'd flip it over, but I'm trying to save a surprise for you. Okay, so I've got my leaf here. I'm going to pull out this little bit. Okay, so there's my lovely leaf, right? But I want it to face the other way. Voila! These are 2-sided laser cuts. Super special, super cool, super versatile. Now when you want your botanical stem to face the other direction, it can. Just like that. So easy, so fun. And then, so we've got that with the ferns and the botanicals and the butterflies. They're all 2-sided. And tear this one apart. But because if the tickets were mirrored, they would be backwards and hard to read. So those are just a solid color on the back side. And same with the postage. But all the little elements, you can have the chipmunk facing the other direction or the camera. They are all 2-sided. And again, with the tickets, they are just solid colors of that same ticket on the back side. So these are going to be a lot of fun to work with. and really, really versatile being two-sided. I hope you really enjoy them. Another new product I have for you in the Hidden Creek collection is the PET tape. And this collection has two different rolls. We have the journal tape and we have the Filmstrip Kiss Cut tape. So I have a couple of these open that I'm going to show you. So this is our Filmstrip Kiss Cut tape. And on it, for the repeat, there are 3 different kind of collaged film strips. I'm going to hold them up a little higher. Hopefully you can see them okay. And these are all kiss cut, if you can see the cut on there. So all you have to do is peel them back and peel them off. And you are getting a matte finish, transparent sort of sticker. So it's different than washi paper. It is PET tape. It takes alcohol inks. It takes paint. It's transparent when you put it on, and has a bit of a matte finish. Okay, so we've got 3 different film strips as part of that repeat, and it's a good size roll. So you're going to have a large number of film strips to work with on your projects. The other roll is the journal roll. So this is not cut. This is what I like to use as background texture and such like that. So it's a collage of vintage ephemera, and with elements from Hidden Creek, with little critters and moths and ferns, and some text as well. And I want to show you a little trick that my friend Brandy at the Scrapbook Haven showed me, and it really saved me with this pet tape, because otherwise, like, I would have been picking forever at this corner to try to get it separated. But instead, and hopefully it'll work when I'm showing it, instead, what you do is you take a piece of tape and you adhere it to the front, and then you peel it, and it just peels the tape right off the backing. So you can cut the pieces that you want. So actually, I'm going to cut a piece here to kind of show you. So you're having, your piece of tape, but with the pet tape, you can't, well, I guess you can. I tried to tear it with my fingers before and I couldn't, but you can tear it too to get a more natural edge. And I had cut that, so I messed that one all up. Sorry. But you can also kind of snip where you would want, and then tear and pull to get more of a natural edge. Cool, right? And like I said, you can use it with your alcohol markers. It takes paint. Really a fun and versatile addition to the collection. So that is the PET tape. And look how they layer. You kind of can collage them too. Lots of fun. You don't really even see the edge. Okay, so PET tape. And thanks again to Brandy Lewis at the Scrapbook Haven for that little trick for me. Maybe I'm the last to know, maybe not. Next up is the rub-ons. So let's talk about rub-ons. You knew I couldn't have my first collection with my new venture without rub-ons, because I absolutely love them. And we've, again, upped the game a little bit. It's changed a little bit. So with this rub-on set, you get these 2 sheets, and you get a little popsicle stick to rub them onto. I recommend a ball burnisher is what I use, and I'm sure everybody has some sort of burnisher, or you can use like a I can't think of the word. Your bone folder. You can use that as well. Okay, so these are the rub-ons. But look, you get 2 of each. So if you were like me and always afraid to use one because you're like, oh, but what if I need it for something else? Now you have 2 of each. So two designs, but 2 of each. So you could do one project where you've got all the butterflies stacked, and then you could use the other project. You could cut individual butterflies. It really widens your choices on how you want to work with this collection. And they're done on a heavier backing paper. This is a much heavier vellum sort of material that holds the rub on. And I'm really pleased with it. I like how it goes on. I like how it handles. I still recommend cutting apart each of the rub-ons so that you don't accidentally rub on a part that you don't want. But they are really a lot of fun. This one, think about cutting it and putting it against an edge and against an edge and maybe coming up from the bottom. There's a lot of different things that you can do with these rub-ons, and creativity is endless. So there, my friends, is the Hidden Creek rub-on pack. I'm going to just set this aside and move on to a new product that I've been wanting to have for forever, and I'm so excited to bring it to you with Hidden Creek, and that is decoupage paper. So these are just some decoupage sheets that are thin. They work nicely to blend into your backgrounds and to do some craft projects with, journaling, card making, and scrapbooking too. So there are 4 different designs, and you get 3 of each of these. So there is your first one, 3 of that. You can see I've grabbed some of the motifs from the papers, and then I've added in some vintage palettes and some text. And in this design, I pulled in the Quatrefoil and added in some palettes as well. So we have 3 of that. So again, your fear of, oh my gosh, I can't use that because what if I need it for something else? Because you have 3 of each, that fear is gone. All right, and then we have 3 of this one with the golden palette. And our last one has the blue botanicals you saw in the rub-ons mixed with butterflies, greenery, and the blue palette. So these are 5x7 sheets. They tear lovely. They're very thin tissue paper, and they will be great for all sorts of crafts and projects and journaling. I've started to use them in some journal pages, and I'm really pleased with how they glue on very easily with a glue stick, and I'm sure with Mod Podge for crafting projects, they would be just as lovely. So that is the new decoupage paper. All right, so with the Hidden Creek collection, I do have some other sorts of products mixed in as well, including this stencil, a wonderful Quatrefoil stencil. You can see it on the back here. I've posted a few makes on my Instagram, and there will be a number more to come, but it's your regular stencil, nice hard plastic, and the Quatrefoil design echoes the designs in the collection. Also in this collection is a clear layering stamp set with the ferns from that echo, again, from the collection. So, you know what, I'm not gonna open it because you can easily see on the back side what you are getting in this pack. You have the pencil line fern that you can fill in with bits of color. As if you watch my Instagram account, you'll see the way that I paint these with watercolor crayons and layer them to give depth. And you have the same thing here with a pencil line dragonfly. and wings to color in for the dragonfly, and the stem of the dragonfly here, and 3 extra splashes. So that is the layering clear stamp set. And then let's see, what should we go to next? Let's go to the dies. So we do have some dies for this collection. I have some tall grasses with insects, and I have some fern stems with an insect, and again, some tag dies as well. Fun thing about these is they're black. Isn't that striking and cool? I really love them. And they cut so beautifully. Lots of different things you can do with these nice fern stems. Layer them. You might have seen again on my Instagram. I did a card showing a card with like 3 different ones of these, but you have 5 different fern stems and the butterfly. And here you have two different grasses. One's upside down so it fit better, and some insects in there. And these are really fine grasses, so they'll add nice depth to your projects. And then this tag set. So there's 2 tags, one embedded in the other, and then you have the reinforcer dies. So again, in fact, I think over here, yikes. See what I can reach. Yeah, I made this one on Instagram. I used the pencil line fern stamp and used this die and inked it all together so you can get an idea for scale and what you're working with there. Okay, in addition to the dies, we also have 3 stamp sets to go with this collection. So I have, in my Maker series, I have Artful Ledgers #1. So you've got some vintage writing and ledgers and stamps and some lines as well. And you can see them all on the back side here. And then we have Letterbox Remnants. So you've got, again, like some journaling lines, some vintage handwriting, a postmark, a ledger line. And this angle I'm really liking for anchoring things. You might have seen me use it in one of my makes. And then this border is almost like a frame border. So again, you can see them all. Let's punch that down. There you go. You can see them all on the back side here. And then one final stamp set is in my Maker series. This is the Ledger Wings #1. So we have a dragonfly and 2 different butterflies, and then these lovely little ledger bit stamps, which I am loving using to just kind of unify designs and add interest to backgrounds. And again, you can see them all here on the back side. So that completes my walkthrough of the Hidden Creek collection with Arden Creative Studios. All right. So I really hope you like this new release. There is more to come from me. I appreciate all the support that I've received for this new adventure that I'm on. And remember to like and subscribe so that you can see all my future videos going forward, and follow me on Instagram for my almost daily makes that I do, sharing a variety of the paper products that I've designed mixed with some printables from KatiePetiteDesigns.com and the things I've designed for other companies as well. So again, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again here real soon. Bye now.